nerd.
Not all geeks are nerds.
Yeah.
This is Geek Therapy Radio.
What are we waiting for?
And now your mental curator, Johnny Hamburger.
Welcome to Geek Therapy Radio and this edition of Midweek Geek. I am your mental curator as always, Johnny Hamburger. Make sure you're subscribed to the YouTube channel, Geek Therapy Radio on YouTube, as I make my march in 2019 to 1,000 subscribers. I truly appreciate your consideration because I know you don't have to subscribe to anything, so I appreciate just the consideration. Also, subscribe to the podcast. You can find it anywhere. Just search for Geek Therapy Radio. Make sure it's with Johnny Hamburger. So Geek Therapy Radio with Johnny Hamburger, and you can search it on any app or podcast service, most of them anyways. So iTunes for sure, the iHeartRadio app, Spreaker, Pocket Casts, Google Podcasts, Podbean. I'm pulling stuff out of the air here. You can ask Alexa to play the Geek Therapy Radio podcast with Johnny Hamburger. So you can find the podcast anywhere, and I would really appreciate if you'd consider subscribing to it. Moving on, this episode of Geek Therapy Radio's Midweek Geek is explicit. I have marked the podcast explicit. If you're watching on YouTube, I have marked it explicit. The YouTube algorithm is not going to like me after this one, but it's educational. We're going to be talking about the etymology of some curse words, of some very popular curse words. So you have been warned. I am not beeping any of this. None of this Midweek Geek is going to make it to the broadcast on KPRC 950 AM. Most of these words aren't allowed on the air. At least some of the words aren't allowed on the air, so they aren't going into the broadcast. So the only way you're going to hear this episode is through the podcast and on YouTube. But again, you have been warned. It is explicit. If you're with small children, turn it off. If you don't want to hear swear words, turn it off. If you're fascinated by the etymology and origins of curse words, if you've ever been curious about it, stay tuned. If you can handle it, stay tuned. But seriously, who among us can't handle it? Who among us is that faint of heart that you can't at least be educational about it? So that's my approach here, is just let's be educational about it. Let's start with the word shit. S-H-I-T. Shit is by far one of the most commonly used swear words in the U.S. That goes without saying. I'm going to be honest. I don't swear in mixed company, but I don't care what walk of life you're from, whether you're a youth pastor or a drunken sailor, you've said the word shit. And if I am being honest with myself, I probably say the word shit at least once a day under my breath. Yeah, there's a reason why swearing is so popular. It's a good release. It helps you keep your mental sanity. You know, you don't have to be that person, like I said, in mixed company, just with a string of run-on swear words. I think that makes you sound stupid, personally. I have nothing against it. Like, if someone is just cursing, they've just met me and they're just cursing and cursing and cursing, that's fine. I'm not going to shy away from the conversation, but I don't personally use swear words every other word because I'll try to find a more descriptive word to fit in there. Everyone heard the word shit. Everyone's heard the word fuck, which I'm going to get to in a minute. But for me personally, I like to use the words to really, if I'm really stressed out. If you hear me swear, you know that I'm really upset about something or I'm really trying to get a point across. When you just use it so blatantly in everyday conversation, it's like crying. It's not like crying wolf. It's just swear words are supposed to be used rarely and sparingly to have maximum impact. So that's why I don't use them all the time. So if you're one of my mixed company friends or you ever hear me say the F word or say shit or something like that, I'm upset about something. I'm really getting a point across. Moving on, back to the etymology of the word shit. It comes from Old English in words such as skite, S-C-I-T-E, which means dung. Skite? I'm going to butcher these pronunciations, by the way. S-C-I-T-T-E, which means diarrhea, and skitan, which means defecate. S-C-I-T-A-N. That's from Old English. It's derived from the Proto-Germanic word skit. S-K-I-T. As it evolved, Middle English added the H, becoming S-C-H-I-T-T-E, which means excrement, and shitten, S-H-I-T S-H-I-T-E-N, which means defecate. From there, it settled into the S-H-I-T, shit, we use today. Now, because we are a creative people, a creative society, we've added flourishes to the word like bullshit, which is basically calling out a lie or untruth. In brief, bull, the word bull, B-U-L-L, derived from the old French word B-O-L-E, bull, which means deception, trick, scheme, etc. In the 14th century, Middle English changed the spelling from the Old French B-O-L-E into B-U-L-L, which basically meant fraud or false talk. And I'm guessing there's dual meanings to the word because obviously bull is an animal. And when I hear someone say bullshit, I do know that that's calling out a lie, or you're calling someone a liar basically. And you do think of a cow, a bull specifically, taking a dump. You think of a cow pie. You're calling it bullshit. What they just said is as good as cow excrement. But that's the etymology of the word bull, and we put it together. We get bullshit because we're very creative like that, especially with swear words. Interestingly enough, the United States is responsible for turning bullshit into popular slang, though it did appear in print prior. So, USA, USA. All right, moving on to the word fuck. The F word. The origin of the F word is a little harder to trace back since it was banned from nearly all dictionaries in print going back through the ages. But etymologists tend to agree that it derived from various Germanic languages. Of course, like fuck. Of course, that sounds like it comes from German. German is a very punctuated, very forceful type of language. So it makes sense that the F word derived from Germanic languages. The German verb is ficken, F-I-C-K-E-N. In Dutch, fokken, F-O-K-K-E-N, means to breed or beget, of course. Norwegians use the word fucka, which means to copulate, F-U-K-K-A, fucka. I'm probably mispronouncing that too. The Swedish word is focka, F-O-C-K-A, which means to strike, to copulate. And fock, F-O-C-K, means penis. The word basically has everything to do with sex. No matter where it comes from, no matter what language you're speaking it in, it has to do with sex. And when we let the word fly today, the idea is that the situation has been unwillingly violated. Which makes sense when I'm just going to use an example here. When you're playing a video game and you miss a goal or something like that, you're playing Rocket League, you say fuck, because it means the situation is not pleasant. A situation was forced upon you that you didn't want. I wanted to make the goal, but I didn't, so the situation is fucked. Wow, this is really explicit. I warned you. On the front of the podcast, it says explicit. Don't say I didn't warn you. The F word can be used as a noun, verb, adverb, adjective, and basically it can be fit into the sentence with only the limiting factor being one's imagination. Fuck is a very versatile word, and there's nobody on earth who hasn't heard used in every imaginative way possible. Very, very, it's the Swiss Army knife of swears. Funny that the worst word you can say as a swear is the most versatile. That's why I don't try to overuse the word. You won't, if you hear me say the F word in mixed company, I mean, if I'm around a comfortable group of friends and there's just guys talking, then I'm more prone to let the F word fly, but you know what I'm saying. If I say the F word in mixed company, something's wrong. Something's very wrong, and I probably need to go to the hospital. Let's just be honest. I'm going to keep it clean. Anyways, keep it clean in an explicit episode. Lowering the impact here a little bit. The word damn. Damn is a very, very old word and arguably never even started as a swear word. It's in the Bible, and so was the word ass. Both weren't necessarily swear words in their origins, but the word damn started in Latin. The word was damnum, D-A-M-N-U-M, and it meant to damage, hurt, harm, penalize, to doom, to judge as guilty, condemn, blame, etc. That all makes sense. Damnation. You are damned to to hell, basically. You're condemning somebody. Condemn, D-E-M-N. That's where the word damn came from. It made its way into Old French as damner or damnier, however you would pronounce it, D-A-M-N-E-R, with similar meaning, and to Middle English as dampen, D-A-M-P-E-N. What's fascinating is that the G-rated version, dang, didn't come around until the late 1700s. So we were using the actual swear word much longer than we came up with the G-rated version of it. So that's the etymology of the word damn. It's been used forever. It came from Latin. It's in the Bible. Made its way to Old French as damner, Middle English as dampen. And that is the etymology of the word damn. Moving on to crap. That sounds funny. I'm not saying that the rest of this episode is crappy, but moving on to the actual word crap. To me, crap is the most fascinating swear word on this particular list because everyone listening to my voice today has a front row seat to etymology's evolution and progress. And what I mean by that is crap is quickly losing its impact. It's quickly losing its power. Many, I'd wager most, don't consider it a swear word anymore. I feel like my pastor could walk up to the pulpit and say the word crap in natural conversation, and nary an old lady would get the vapors. It is that the impact of the word crap we've been so desensitized to it that I don't think it's, and I think a lot of people would agree that it's not really a swear word anymore, even though it technically is. We're seeing the word evolve into possibly not even becoming a swear word anymore. Would you punish your kid for saying crap? If your 4-year-old said crap, would you? I think I wouldn't punish them. I would just say that's a naughty word. We don't say that. It's not a polite word. I might word it. I wouldn't want my toddlers or kids saying the word crap just because it's not a pleasant word, but it's not a swear word either. I wouldn't wash their mouth out with soap or anything. Anyways, the roots of the word actually come from Old Dutch in the word krappen, meaning to cut off. Krappen, K-R-A-P-P-E-N. In medieval Latin, the word crappa, C-R-A-P-P-A, was defined as the husk of a corn or other vegetables. Old French took the Latin word crappa and turned it into crappe, C-R-A-P-P-E. Middle French also evolved it into crepe, not crepe like the unleavened pancake or whatever you want to call it, but C-R-A-P-E, which meant siftings, much like the husk removed from corn or cracked nutshells being discarded. By the time it made its way to Middle English, the term was crappe, C-R-A-P-P-E, which was the wasted grain being trodden on underfoot. And basically, in its most modern form, it comes down to farming. Crap basically means anything useless or discarded, from weeds to trash or whatever. Basically anything useless that we throw away, which is why we commonly refer to pooping as taking a crap. When you say the word crap, you think about poop. I know that goes without saying. Saying the word crap, you think about poop. By the way, taking a poop doesn't make sense. That phrase doesn't make sense. Who is taking a poop? Like, who is reaching for it? I'm taking this poop. That would be weird. Like, I'm taking this poop to save for later. I don't know. That's just weird. So taking a poop doesn't make sense. Who's taking poop? You're leaving poop wherever it falls. So the correct way to say it would be, I'm going to leave a poop. You're going to take a crap and then leave it there. I just said take a crap. That phrasing in words and in language is so interesting in that way. We can argue over poop semantics all day long, but let's move on. I'm just saying that the more appropriate phrase would be I'm leaving a crap or I'm leaving a poop. I'm not taking it. Like, I'm not taking it back out of the bathroom with me. Asshole. Not me, but like I mentioned earlier, the actual term ass was never a true swear word. It was an animal. Asshole derives from the Middle English arsehole, A-R-C-E-H-O-L-L-E, which itself is derived from the prior Old English airsole, and the O has a little squiggly line over it, whatever, which is combined from the Latin anus and pyrel, meaning hole. Pyrel, P-Y-R-E-L. So it quite literally translates to anus hole. And that makes a whole lot of sense now, doesn't it? In the mid-1930s, we agree that asshole, as one word, defined a contemptible person. So, your neighbor whose dog leaves a crap on your lawn is an asshole, or you might call him an asshole. He's probably a nice person. It's just that's the one thing he does that you might call him an asshole over. The term arse, A-R-S-E, when describing a fanny and not an animal, came to be in 1860 as nautical slang. Fascinating. And that's pretty much it. That's all the words I got here. There are so many other words that are considered swears, bitch, that came from a dog. You know what? That's kind of beyond the scope of what I'm trying to do in this particular episode of Geek Therapy Radio, this Midweek Geek. So I'm just going to leave it there with those words. Those are the ones that we use probably most often. So I thought it'd be fascinating to look into where they actually came from. With that, again, thank you for listening to Geek Therapy Radio. Thank you for listening to this Geek Therapy Radio podcast. It's Midweek Geek here on Geek Therapy Radio. Search for Geek Therapy Radio in your favorite podcast app. Make sure it's with Johnny Hemberger, and make sure you're subscribed on YouTube, or just consider subscribing. I'd really appreciate it. Throw a thumbs up on the video if you liked it. And until next time, please be good to each other. I'm not going to nanny you about cussing. I'm not your dad. I'm not your mom. Do whatever you want. I'm just saying, I like to work for words to contain impact, so I don't want to use it personally in every sentence I use, but you're free to do whatever. Until next time, be good to each other, especially be good to yourself, and take care. Got nothing else to say. I've said a lot of words now, so I'll see you guys next week here on Geek Therapy Radio. Peace out.